Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Mr. Myers Minis. Today we are going to be learning about legends. So, when you hear the word legends, what are a few things that come to mind? If you're thinking about stories that sometimes have to do with things that happen in real life, or sometimes have to do with things that are totally made up that are told in order to entertain people or to teach them a lesson, you would be correct. Ever since the first people have sat around a campfire and entertained themselves at night, people have been telling legends or stories in order to teach each other about the world around them. And oftentimes, this tradition of passing down stories through talking or storytelling is called oral tradition. And there are many groups of people who have practiced this oral tradition throughout history. One of the groups of people that come to mind for me are Native Americans of North America. Now, today I am going to be telling a legend that comes from the Onondaga Native American tribe of the Great Lakes region. And it has to do with a grouping of stars called the Pleiades. And here's a picture of the Pleiades through a telescope right here. And the Pleiades are a constellation or a grouping of stars. And they're actually hundreds of stars that are clustered together in space. And when you look at it through a telescope, some people say there are 7 stars that are the brightest. And this legend from the Onondaga Native American tribe is called the Seven Brothers. Now, some tribes call it the Seven Sisters or other different versions of the story. But here is the version that I have heard. Long ago, there were 7 brothers that lived in a village on the shore of a great lake. These 7 brothers grew up learning many different skills and helping their village out. They cleaned, they planted crops, they learned different identifications of plants and the area around them. One day, the 7 brothers decided that they wanted to learn some special songs that their village elders sang. So they went to their village elders and they asked them if they could learn these special songs. The village elders went to their great lawn house and talked. When they came back, they told the 7 brothers that they could not learn these songs because they were not old enough yet, but to not worry because they were still young and could learn a lot about the world around them, and eventually they would be able to learn the songs. Well, the 7 brothers were really hoping that they could learn these songs, so they decided that late that night they would sneak out from the village while everyone was asleep and go sing some songs of their own. So they snuck out that night and went for a walk along the shore of the Great Lake. Suddenly, in one of the bushes, they saw glowing a drum. One of the 7 brothers picked up this drum and said, "Let's play it just like our elders do and sing our own songs." So they started to sing and dance and play the drum. Suddenly, across the lake, one of the 7 brothers said, "Look!" And coming across to them was a glowing light. As this light got closer, they saw it was actually an old man dressed in white robes, and this old man spoke to them. He said, "7 brothers, please put down this drum, because it is a magic drum, and if you continue to play it, something bad will happen." And the old man disappeared. Now the 7 brothers were pretty scared, so they dropped the drum and they ran all the way back to the village. A couple of months passed, and the brothers learned new skills. They learned different ways to hunt, they learned how to make bow and arrows, and they even learned how to weave baskets. So, they decided they would go to their elders once again in order to ask if they could learn the songs, because surely the elders would say yes, because the boys were now older. So they went to their elders and asked, "Elders, can we please learn those special songs that you all sing?" The elders convened in their lawn house once again. They came out and said, "Brothers, I am sorry, but you cannot learn these songs yet. You are still not old enough. Only a few months have passed, and you must wait several years until you can learn these special songs. But do not be upset, because tonight we are having a special celebration, and we will be singing different songs, and we will be dancing, and we will also be playing games." Well, the 7 brothers were very upset. They were sure that their elders would let them learn the songs now that they were older. So, later that night, when everyone was celebrating at the great feast, they snuck away from the village once again. And they went for a walk along the shore of the great lake. And glowing in one of the bushes, exactly where they had found it, was the drum. One of the 7 brothers said, "Brothers, we must leave this drum alone. Remember what the old man said? If we play this drum, something bad will happen." Well, the other brothers laughed at him and called him silly. They all picked up the drum and started to play it once again. But this time, as they played it, an energy began to form around them, and they danced wildly and sang their songs. And with each step, they began to move faster and faster. Each step they took seemed to lift them off of the ground, and they could not stop dancing and playing the drum. Soon, they were high above their village, and they could see everyone playing games and dancing around their campfire and having fun. But still, the 7 brothers played their drum and danced and sang their songs. Soon now, they were high above the earth, and they could see all of the stars and the moon and the planets around them. But still they danced, and still they sang their song. And today, the 7 brothers are still playing the drum, dancing, and singing their songs in the night sky. And if you look up, you'll be able to see them glowing. All right, so that is a version of the story that I have heard before, and I even changed it just a little bit in order to make it a little bit more interesting. And that's one of the cool things about storytelling, is that you can change the story that you hear in order to tell it your way. So I would invite you all to come up with your own story or your own legend, and you can write it down. And to make it a little bit more interesting, you can even draw pictures to go along with your legend. Or if you're making it about a constellation, you can draw that constellation, or you can even make up your own constellation with its own legend. All right, well, I hope that you all enjoyed that little mini lesson, and I hope that you all continue to tell stories and to come up with your own legends and your own drawings to describe those legends. Until next time, I'll see you all later.